Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Darren, and today I want to discuss the patch that's coming out 6.2.3. And the question I'm asking you guys in today's video, for this discussion video, is there enough to do for us while we wait for Legion in Warlords of Draenor? Now, every single expansion has been basically the same in terms of how the expansion comes out and the content drought that a lot of players that have been playing World of Warcraft will know about and know exactly what it feels like. The content drought is basically when there's not a lot of things to do in World of Warcraft while everybody's waiting for the next new expansion to come out. And usually people end up quitting or playing other games while they're waiting for expansion to come out, or they get into the beta of the new expansion and they get to try out all the new changes, be it class changes, game changes, raids, dungeons, mechanics, PvP, earlier than everybody else, even though there are some usually there's technical issues within the betas, but it's still a lot of fun for people to try new things within the same game they've been playing for a while. And now we're coming up to the expansion of Legion, and the question is, are we going to have anything to do within Warlords of Draenor? From my experience, the expansions that I've played through were Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria. During the wait for Mists of Pandaria, Cataclysm was pretty much barren, and the only fun thing I had to do at the time was actually raid in an actual guild, in an actual raid. And at the time, it was a new experience because I was basically a new player. I didn't know how to play a resto druid, and being in a guild that's running the raid over and over, which was Dragon Souls at the time, it was a very cool, unique experience, and I was happy that it was part of the experience altogether. But for the time being, there was no content patches to be introduced. But I was a noob, so it was okay. I was captivated by the things I haven't tried in the game. During Mists of Pandaria, while we waited for Warlords of Draenor, I ended up getting into the Warlords of Draenor beta, but for the most part, the only thing I did, because there wasn't any patches to keep you, staved off up until the next new pretty shiny expansion came out, all I did, and all I could do, is try to see if I can get 2k rating on my combat rogue, which I was able to accomplish, and that wasn't content either, but that was really just my own experience within the game, which again I cannot count as content to be exact. So the question is there anything to do in Warlords of Draenor while we wait for Legion? And yes, there is, but also not really. It's kind of difficult to explain, and I'll explain it by introducing you patch 6.2.3. In patch 6.2.3, PvPers get Season 3. What do they get with Season 3? Well, you have a chance to get your titles, get your rating all over again. But is there anything new? They're adding new gear in terms of item level to scale it up a little more, but no class changes. And the gear you're getting is exactly the same, as in the honor gear looks exactly the same, and the conquest gear is exactly the same, but the only change is the faction colors have been swapped, so Alliance gets Horde gear and Horde gets Alliance gear. The Elite set is exactly the same as this season. So while I do appreciate the fact that there's another season, and I do appreciate the fact that Blizzard is putting most of their efforts into Legion, I still would have loved, you don't even know how much I would have loved to see a shiny new piece of Elite gear just sitting there waiting for me to grab in Season 3. But there isn't, so it's kind of a lackluster season. It is, I guess, a season for anybody who hasn't gotten their titles or gear, hasn't gotten yet, to get it right there right now when all the classes will be at their max potential. And chances are we probably won't get any class changes whatsoever. If they haven't announced any right now, they probably won't announce any in the future. On PvE spectrum, on the other hand, there's plenty of stuff to do. There's Time Walker dungeons that can give you a chance to get a Drake mount, a pretty cool looking mount first of all. Within the raiding scene, you will get a Stag mount, something people have been wanting for a while. The mount is themed to Legion as one of the mounts and one of the, I guess, animals you'll see in the game once Legion comes out. This is not a store mount, which made me very happy to see, because they could have easily made that mount a store mount and everybody would have had to pay just to get the mount, but they made it something you can earn by beating the final boss of the final raid on Heroic or Mythic, which is something really cool, and I want to say thank you Blizzard for doing that. A really good move. In terms of other things for PvE, they're bringing in Valor points. They are allowing people to get a higher item level on all their raiding gear. So all that is interesting and exciting. So people can do dungeons, people can do raids, people can get valor points to upgrade their gear in order to catch up to the content and finally do the raid. So PvE spectrum is pretty, I guess, full, and it's basically giving you opportunities for your mains and alts to finally catch up to where everybody is at, see the content, get the final boss, get the epic loots, and you know, get the full experience of Draenor. But in terms of PvP, there is really not a lot to do. A few things I can think of for me to do is maybe start Iron Man challenge, maybe start doing PvE. Maybe I might even start doing PvE content on the channel, because in terms of PvP, there literally won't be a lot for me to do. I got my 2k set last season and this season. I've gotten 2k 2 seasons in a row. They don't even have a PvP mount for me to get from PvP, which I've gotten every single season and I've enjoyed them thus far. I would have loved if they added one that's Warlords of Draenor Alliance themed that you get for, I guess, not in Conquest, but for the saddles that you get at every single season so far, where you get 100 wins in 3v3 arenas or 40 wins in RBGs, but they don't have anything like that. So another last thing I can think of for myself to do is get the flying in Draenor, and even that is going to be, I feel like, basically obsolete by the time I actually get it, because flying doesn't really help you in any way. Maybe it helps you to gank for PvP, but it doesn't really help you because everything in Draenor already is offered to you, where you don't need to fly to it. You can literally walk and run to all these locations and all these places within the game as is. So flying seems a bit redundant. I mean, it's unique and cool, but again, very much redundant. So the question is there a lot to do? In terms of PvE, I feel like there is plenty. In terms of PvP, however, there is not, and thank God I'm streaming and we can have our own little fun and gatherings and maybe world PvP and 1v1s, run battlegrounds with viewers, level alts, so that'll be a lot of fun to do for the channel. But in terms of just enjoying the game, just playing the game, which I have been able to do a lot more recently with college and making videos, taking up a lot of my time, because I'm able to enjoy the game more often, I can ask these kind of questions of what is there for me to do within the game. And I actually just start my raiding just to get my mounts, just to get my epic loots, just to be the Dragon Slayer Dalaran, like back in Cataclysm, maybe back in Spandaria, the back in the day guy that really sunk a lot of hours into this game. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm hoping and praying to Blizzard RNG that I get into the Legion beta, because I would love nothing more than to see changes with rogues, demon hunters, and everything Legion has to offer as soon as possible, because there I might be able to have some fun PvPing as my own class and my own spec of combat rogue. But what if they change the playstyle completely? I would enjoy just relearning how to play it all together. And I would have loved if they did something like that, just mess up a bunch of classes and specs for Season 3 in terms of PvP, but I doubt they would do that because it would kind of mess up the whole raiding spectrum and gear and how the gear functions in raids. As we know, Warlords of Draenor has been mostly a PvE expansion rather than the PvP focused one. But hey, I think I talked long enough and I voiced my opinions, and my question is, what do you guys think about the, I guess, the content drought that we might expect before Legion? Do you think Blizzard is giving us enough content, or is there going to be not enough? And if you think there's not going to be enough, what are you going to be doing while waiting for Legion? For anybody who watches my videos regularly, I would love it if you guys were to comment what else you might want to see out of the channel while we are waiting for Legion, in case we don't get into the Legion beta, which I pray to God we do. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Have yourselves a great one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.